So that's the alternative Christmas message there. We're joined now by Ash Perrin from the Flying Seagull Project, who, in his guise as a clown, has travelled round, haven't you, to refugee camps in Europe, and you entertain young children. Is that sort of, you know, just to help bring a bit of joy to such a desperate situation? Yeah,
I mean, it's not just to bring joy, but it's also to bring reassurance. I mean, not just to the kids, but to the adults. They've made this decision to leave their war-torn country or whatever it is. The threat has to be big, and so they've taken their children, they've hit the road, and they've ended up, to be honest with you, sometimes in a worse state. Last week we were in Calais, and I have to be honest that having travelled West Africa and through the slums of all over the place, the Calais camp is beyond what I've seen anywhere else in the world. The violence from the police in the evenings, the stress and the tension on camp, and amongst all of that, there's 150 at least families living in the cold, in the rain, and the kids are just kind of forgotten. You know, we talk a lot here, we read the papers, and it's about this many have did this and that many did that, and statistics, but beyond religion and economics and politics is this massive amount of families that are, you know, outside of their home and outside of their structure and outside of sometimes even a square meal each day. You know, it's been a rough ride for all of them, and at that point they need something, us, I hope.
And also, I mean, do you think it takes something? We saw the alternative message there, didn't we? Something like Abdullah Kurdi speaking out. You know, after people saw those horrific images, that did focus people's minds, didn't it?
Yeah,
on actually the people behind this.
It did, and it does. And the problem is it doesn't always last. That, you know, we have that emotional reaction, and then shortly afterwards we get kind of again embroiled. I think it's always this political chat. We get embroiled again in the politics of it, but we have to keep coming back to that. For me, we have to keep coming back to that point of, these are the same names that are on your Christmas present list. That's someone's auntie, someone's uncle, that's someone's nephew, niece, brother. And it's the same list of names, and they're registering in camps and they're living in tents and they're being shoved around from here to there because we can't make up our minds politically what the right choice is.
Well, I suppose it's a complicated issue to solve, isn't it? To be fair to those trying to do it. But you're pointing out the fact that in the middle of all this are some very human problems. I've been to refugee camps myself, and I think one of the problems is after you get past the basic food and something, even if it's a bit of fabric over people's heads, is actually boredom and a sense of not knowing what's happening next.
Absolutely.
So I guess what you're doing is vital in that, particularly for the children,
Absolutely.
to give them a sense of it.
As I said, the feelings when you're in the camp it's stressful. The air is stressful. It feels tense. And for their parents as well, they've got this knot in their stomach. Have they done the right thing?
But for the kids, it's just...
For the kids, they're just, you see it in their faces, they're terrified. They're so fearful and terrified. And yeah, a red nose and some music and magic and circus and games and lots of us goofing around. They need it. They need it for their emotional well-being. They need it for their physical well-being. You know, you can see them relax and you can see them unwind. And you remember that they're just kids, and every kid has to have a childhood. The UN has a whole list of rights of a child to play, and one of them is to play in a safe environment where they can exercise, recreation, whatever else the wording is. So that has to happen. Otherwise, they're going to grow up into very stressed and tense adults, and that's not good for anybody.
That leads to further problems down the line, doesn't it? Fascinating to hear what you've been through.
What a special thing to do as well.
Yeah, I guess if I've one more minute, it's just to say that tomorrow, when we're sitting with our families, it's not that I want anyone to feel bad, but it's more to feel like, to remember and to say, is there anything more I can do? You know, once we clear away our guest beds and all that stuff that we've got out for Christmas, to think from solving the blues to a pair of shoes or whatever it is, whatever you can offer, there's somebody that needs it right now, as close as Calais, an hour and a half away, and there's families that will be really grateful for your love over this time.
It's a lovely thought. Thank you. We'll try and think of that. Thanks very much indeed, Ash. Thank you.